Chapter 545. Yudhir number 1. It was the name of a dispelling magic created to neutralize the toxic traces of the colossal monster that had unnaturally covered Yudhir's body. Thanks to this magic spell, laboriously crafted by the mages of the Western Mage Union and Kishir working together, Yudhir was able to regain his lost vision and recover his skin, which had been marred with dark stains. Later on, Micklin decided to name the completed new magic spell Yudhir number 1, following academic protocol that new magic spells should be formally submitted. It was on this occasion, during his visit to the capital, that he finally announced it. Frankly, the reaction was expected. Though it's a large scale magic spell that normally wouldn't even be possible to cast without the immense magic energy embedded in the Great Serene Forest, the fact that it succeeded in neutralizing the monster's influence alone makes a milestone in the history of magic, Micklin said, his face flushed with pride. You wouldn't believe how much interest the foreign mages who were here for an exchange have shown. Micklin's gaze clouded over, his proud face suddenly turning somber. However, aside from my pride as a mage, I do have some reservations. Why? It hasn't been easy to divert all attention to our union, keeping anonymous the fact that Your Grace led the completion of the magic spell. There are too many people curious about the circumstances at the time. Someone might guess the truth eventually. Micklin sighed deeply, and for a moment, Yudhir's gaze shifted to Kishir before returning. So they decided to officially hide Kishir's involvement in the announcement about the creation of the magic spell. I hadn't realized, but it makes sense. Indeed, while Kishir had declared his ambition to reveal himself as the rightful owner of the divine sword, magic was a separate matter. Yudhir could guess multiple reasons why he would choose to hide it. However, knowing this didn't lift Yudhir's spirits. After all, he knew that Kishir's power had been the most significant influence in the creation and completion of the magic spell. Isn't that something we have already anticipated? Handle it so my name doesn't come out. I trust you have the skill to manage that, Kishir said. Of course, I understand. All right. Micklin agreed, bowing his head. Then he turned his gaze back to Yudhir. Ah, and due to the magic spell bearing your name, interest in new Baron Ale and the cavalry has significantly increased among the mages. Many were especially astonished that an awakener could also rely on magic for healing. You might soon receive contact from both the Pearl Tower and the Court Mage office. The Pearl Tower and the Court Mage office, you say? While Kishir mumbled with what seemed like genuine interest, Yudhir couldn't care less. Whether the mages took interest in him or not was of no importance to him. Also, one more piece of news. It seems that the expansion of the Great Serene Forest has finally stopped for sure. According to Micklin, nearly half of the vast amounts of pure magic energy that had begun to flow out of the suspected magic spring ruins had now been expelled. As a result, the forest, which had been expanding for a long time, had finally halted its growth, and logging was currently underway at its fringes. Now, there are no longer any abnormal plants growing in that place. Animals have begun to enter the forest, and birds have made their nests. The yearly occurrences of monsters within the forest have also drastically decreased, making it almost peaceful now. And yet, Micklin, who had been speaking with a faint smile, suddenly grew serious again. We have also confirmed that the flow of dense magic energy originating from the forest is now spreading throughout the entire western region. Yudhir was certain that this was probably the most crucial part of what Micklin had come to tell Kishir today. That's obviously not the end of it. Indeed, our union believes that if it's left unchecked, the magic energy could eventually envelop the entire world. It's that pure of energy. While it may not be a complete solution to the waning of magic power, this phenomenon is sure to astonish the whole world. Then we should make another announcement regarding this matter, Kishir murmured, his face calm. Yes, thanks to the excellent cooperation from Baron Kiold, who has become a new pillar of Tenu, we are tracking the spread and concentration of this magic energy flow smoothly. I will send another report soon alongside the progress of user number two's research. Understood. If you're short on manpower, let me know. A smile crossed Michelin's sharp, raptor-like face. He seemed satisfied that he had successfully finished reporting and secured ongoing sponsorship. And then Yudhir took the opportunity to ask a question as the conversation concluded. But what is this Yudhir number 2 you mentioned? I have never heard of it before. You didn't know? One of the research projects we are working on is based on Yudhir number 1. It aims to develop a simpler magic spell to help those who have been poisoned by monsters. Mikelin cheerfully responded as if asking how Yudhir could not have known. While research on monsters and magic is important, it seemed too wasteful to use Yudhir number 1 just once and dispose of it. Fortunately, modifying it is much easier than developing a new magic spell, so the project is progressing swiftly. The other mages also welcomed the development of Yudhir number 2, a fact Mikelin was pleased to share. He looked decades younger than when Yudhir first met him. Just from his expression, one could tell how much he was enjoying life these days. Yudhir simply nodded, having nothing more to say. After all, there was no reason to be upset when the research was going well and troublesome individuals like Baron Wilhelm were facing consequences. After exchanging a few more opinions, Yudhir escorted Mikelin to the first floor medical unit. Priest Lusan, who had been in the middle of prayers, was startled by the unexpected visitor, but soon healed Mikelin's head bump with divine power. It was quite a significant bump. While it has healed, I would recommend you not lying down on the side for a few days. That darn old man. Thank you anyway. Mikelin barely maintained his social decorum, grinding his teeth as he bowed his head. Mikelin, can you find your way back without an escort? If you could call a carriage for me, that would be better. The very thought of walking back to my lodging is daunting. In any case, thank you for guiding this old body of mine. I have certainly been a handful despite the hospitality. Mikelin bowed, maintaining his dignity, and Yudhir felt a sense of accomplishment in successfully aiding the conversation between Mikelin and Kishir. Before anything else, I am simply the assistant to the commander of the cavalry. I only did what I ought to have done, so please think nothing of it. You really haven't changed. Mikelin let out a long sigh, his eyes wrinkling at the corners. Speaking of Yudhir number 1 and 2 from earlier, to tell you the truth, the reason I wanted to name the spell after you was to encourage mages to be less antagonistic towards awakeners, so they wouldn't live in regret like I have. Is that so? Caught off guard by the unexpected statement, Yudhir slowly blinked his eyes and inquired further. Yes, you might not understand from your perspective, but I thought it would be helpful in some way. Of course, I considered the possibility that you might decline, but since you have given your consent, I intend to use it well. I would be pleased if it proves useful someday. Having said this, Mikelin left the cavalry. Yudhir returned to the commander's office where Kishir was and relayed Mikelin's words, asking if he had any idea what they meant. I don't understand how naming a spell after me would help to lessen mages' hostility towards awakeners. Do you have any idea, Commander? To understand that, you would have to delve into why mages dislike awakeners in the first place. Within the complex emotions of the mages who despised awakeners, jealousy had found a place. In a time when even summoning a simple flame had been rare due to the years of diligent study and cultivation, the news of awakeners wielding potent natural powers with ease was more than enough to provoke shock and hatred. Someone like you, an awakener who uses a power similar to magic, recovering from injuries by relying on magic rather than the power of an awakener or a priest, would be a very significant event for them. Names can't be used without the consent of the person involved, so that could strengthen their change in perception even more. Could mages really change their ways just because of something like that? It was still hard to comprehend even after the explanation. Nevertheless, Yudhir responded that he understood. After all, if naming the spell user number 1 could alleviate mages' irrational apprehension of awakeners and made them more cooperative, sacrificing a name was a small price to pay.